DoorDash is a company with two faces. One that its 20 million monthly active users see, and one that its 2 million drivers see. What's going on, everybody? My name is Zach. I hope you are doing well. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, please do press that like and subscribe button if you are kind enough to subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below. Tell me your name and the market you drive in, and I'll be sure to thank you at the end of my next ride-along video. According to DoorDash themselves, the average order turnaround time is 37 minutes, and that's the time from the order is placed until the time it's at the customer's door. DoorDash did not grow from a 5% market share in 2016 to a 57% market share in just 5 years, because orders were arriving late and cold. My point is, DoorDash went from a small startup in the year 2013 to the tech giant it is today. So what is behind their tremendous success? An oversaturation of drivers, scare tactics, and low base pay. Let's address those one by one. Oversaturation. DoorDash, or any other delivery service for that matter, does not pay an hourly rate. They don't pay a dime for the fleet of vehicles that drive for their service. They barely offset gas, and that's temporary. They don't make any car payments. They don't pay our insurance, yet they have over 2 million vehicles at their disposal. It is a wise business move for them to oversaturate the market. Gig work has a high turnover rate, and this ensures that DoorDash will always have new drivers. These drivers frequently don't know any better, so they take low and no tip orders. Not to mention high distance orders. This is how DoorDash gets many god-awful orders delivered. If all drivers knew how to spot a bad order and knew that they weren't required to take that order, DoorDash would be forced to make some changes. Now let's talk about scare tactics. They use words like very low in big red text to try to rattle new drivers. If you have to call support to have an order unassigned, it's a human being on the other line reminding you that your acceptance rate is about to drop. Not to mention the silly games they play, such as pausing our dash or ending our dash after we decline too many bullshit offers in a row. This is successful for them because many new drivers don't know what an independent contractor is. They make the assumption that this is a traditional job. Meanwhile, DoorDash is constantly flaunting the benefits of Top Dasher, a program designed to trick gullible people into making poor financial decisions. Now I want to talk about base pay. Over 400 of you legends answered a poll where I asked what your base pay is. The majority of you are sitting at $2.50 base pay, while some of you are as low as $2 per order. For the sake of this video, let's assume that base pay is $2.50 everywhere. In the United States, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is $1,100 per month. Now, of course, depending on your area, that number will vary widely, but for the sake of this video, we're going with $1,100. If we were working solely on base pay, do you know how many orders per month you would have to do just to pay your rent? 440 orders. That works out to be about 15 orders per day. Well, that sounds doable, right? Oh, but I forgot a few things. That number does not include utilities, groceries, car insurance, cell phone bill, car maintenance and repairs, and not to mention the gas that you spent out of that base pay to make that order happen for the customer. Realistically, you'd probably have to do between 30 and 40 orders per day just to survive on base pay alone. Fortunately, a majority of our customers do tip. Now that is not an added nicety. That is a lifeline. But it hasn't always been like this with base pay and customer tips. Some of you may or may not know that in 2019, DoorDash got caught using customer tips to pay our base pay. This is not a transparent company, and they have proven that they are willing to take a shot at their drivers to line their pockets. Now that is the side of the company that we see and customers don't. I'm gonna make a prediction. I believe we're gonna continue to see base pay fall. Being is that base pay in some markets is less than half of what it was when DoorDash first launched. How long is it gonna be before people making $2 base pay will be making $1 base pay? I do want to emphasize that this is just the way that I could see things going, and I do not have any inside information. Some of you may be surprised to hear that DoorDash is not a profitable company. Despite the company pulling in $4.8 billion in 2021, they still managed to lose $468 million. So basically, they are in the red and have never been in the green. Now that may not be fair of me, as many tech companies do operate in debt for several years before they become profitable. But there is one major thing that concerns me and should probably concern you too. DoorDash's stock is down nearly 50% in the past 6 months. DoorDash never answers to their drivers, but they do answer to their shareholders. DoorDash has proven when they want to save a buck, they borrow it from their drivers. Another example of this is when you get a double or an add-on order. What's the base pay on that? It's usually $1 less than the first order. DoorDash got 816 million orders in 2020. While I know it's not realistic, if DoorDash had doubled every order, they would have saved themselves hundreds of millions of dollars that otherwise would have went to the drivers. If they fail to find a driver to take the order, eventually DoorDash will double that order with an order where somebody had the decency to tip, all to get it delivered, and saving themselves $1. Not to mention possibly delaying the customer's order who did have the decency to tip. Now, I hope I'm wrong about all of this, but if I'm not wrong, there will come a day where DoorDash will have to completely rework their base pay or stop hiding customer tips. The current model does not require nor strongly encourage their customers to tip well, not to mention the fact that they don't say anything when the customer goes into the checkout screen and removes the suggested tip. This ensures that that order is going to bounce from driver to driver until eventually it falls upon an uninformed driver's phone and they get suckered into taking it, or it gets doubled with something else. When that order gets bonused, that comes out of the company's pocket, and that almost guarantees the order is going to be late and cold, and could very well result in a bad rating for the poor driver that was tricked into doing the order, rather than trying to trick drivers. Wouldn't it be more sensible to encourage customers to tip fairly or require them to tip? This is a service, not a necessity. So what I would like to encourage you to do, when you're waiting for an order, strike up conversations with other drivers, get to know them, teach them how to spot a bad order, tell them they don't have to take it, and encourage them not to. Explain to them that they are not an employee, they shouldn't take bullshit orders, and they won't get deactivated if they don't. Hell, encourage them to watch YouTube videos on the subject matter. And don't forget, we were all new once also. So please be kind to your fellow drivers. If everyone stopped taking low and no tip offers, DoorDash would have to increase base pay to stay in business. We are their business model. Don't let them abuse that. $2.50 base pay is poverty. It's time to do something about it. I want to thank you for making it to the end of the video and for taking time out of your day to watch one of my videos. If you haven't done so yet, this is the perfect time for you to hit the subscribe button. If you are kind enough to subscribe, let me know in the comment section below. Tell me your name and the market you drive in, and I'll be sure to thank you at the end of my next ride-along video. My name is Zach. Take care.